Man, what is up, everybody? And of course, this is your man GMO, aka non-GMO. And yeah, we out here. And actually, this is both sides of the coin, y'all. Man, what is cracking, everybody? Of course, it's your man Giamo. Of course, I'm waiting for my great co-hostess, the Phoenix, the Blue Phoenix. You know what I'm saying, to jump on. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? I just want to make sure. Want to make sure I'm not acting crazy. Um, if you can hear me, Angel, if you can hear me, just say yes. Can you hear me? I want to make sure I'm right. So in the meantime, hopefully everything. Can you hear me now, Angel? I was saying that everybody has a certain skill set, a measurement, a height, a monetary value, a certain power that they possess. And what I'm noticing is that when it comes to us and the human element, thank you so much, Angel, is that we don't pay attention to ourselves enough to notice our superpowers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have never ever been envious of a human being. Jealous of what they possess, yes. Every person out here wishes that they could be somebody else, an out of body experience. You know what I mean? Just what ifs. But what happens when we wake up in the morning and our gift may be to listen, to talk, to absorb energies, to give of ourselves? Hold on real quick. I have to give this to the Phoenix. But what happens when we look at ourselves in the mirror? You know, where does that negative energy come from? Why are we not proud of ourselves? Why do we not know our superpowers? Why do we not convince ourselves how great we are as human beings, as individuals? It's very unsettling at times amidst the Ukraine, the wars that's going on, Israel. Like, what are we trying to get from people? Where are we trying to end up in life? You know, is power what we want over people instead of ourselves? Because it seems like the most craziest thing about life and being human is that we don't know how to have power over ourselves. We see it every day with supervisors. We see it day in, day out with micromanaging and people wanting to manipulate you mentally and sometimes emotionally. And that's something that that person can't control. So they project it to you in order to control you. And of course, we have.
Hello, everybody. I was in the other side of team, in the other side of the street. And we have our lovely lady with us. She should be in there. I heard.
Yes, indeed. She is definitely
Um,
here. Would
this
you
is our guest for tonight. Her name
yes
is
indeed.
Lady D, you guys.
Lady
All
D.
Hi,
right.
Lady D.
I got to get used to the Blue Phoenix Hills. Okay. And GI Mo.
Just
Okay.
call
That's
me
my,
Blue Phoenix.
okay. Well, Mo is my middle name. So, I mean, my nickname. So I'm all with the GI Mo like that.
All right. So while the Phoenix is fixing her hair, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi,
Y'all,
everyone. My name
it's
is,
been a day.
oh gosh. My name is Lavon DeVille. I'm old. I'm married. I've been married for over 35 years. I have two sons, a daughter-in-law and a granddaughter, and we live in Waldorf, Maryland. I have a background in social work and as well as I'm a minister, but I'm real.
That
Okay.
is beautiful. That is beautiful.
Okay.
That is beautiful. So you said that you live in Waldorf, Maryland. Where are
Yes.
you originally born? Where are you from?
Washington, D.C.
Oh
Berry
man, let's
Farms.
go.
Berry
Oh,
Farms all day long. And we moved to this place called Sales Place off of Martin Luther King Avenue. So I grew up in the hood all my life.
mm.
Yeah.
And so Phoenix, would you like to interject? You have anything to say?
No, accidentally went out, so I don't know what was said.
Well,
She
But
it's
just
just,
introduced herself and she was talking about her background and where she was born.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So you heard she lives out where we had to catch the plane to, right?
Whatever.
You know it's a
I'm
plane
not
ride
that far
at
from you. I'm not that far from
yeah,
you. It's all
you
good.
know.
I'm Super Maryland too. I'm Super Maryland.
Okay.
It's all good.
Thumbs up. I'm excited, you guys.
So you were mentioning what? Why did you open up with the fact that you said that you were old? What does that have to do with anything?
When you're past 50 and you work for a organization that supports the 50 plus community,
Mhm.
you become a senior early. So that's why I said that. And I'm a grandma now. So
Yeah. Well, there are some grandmas out here that are very young, so consider
yes,
yourself lucky. At least you're at that age where you can not give a dag on about your own kids, and you can skip over them and care
exactly.
about the.
After, we haven't had a girl in our family for over 27 years. So my granddaughter is the first girl. So she's spoiled rotten.
Get out of here.
Yes. So
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So, as far as like social work,
hmm
what got you involved in the social work?
Well, I had a background of molestation. I had a background where my husband and I we were married for 10 years and he became an addict. And I wanted to start helping people, and people were coming to me for about their problems. So I became a minister, and I've always tried to empower women
Okay.
to stand up and be strong. So that's my background, and that's what ignited me taking the call from God to become a minister. But I'm a real minister.
Okay.
Well, when I say I tell the truth and I try to lay it out flat to women in a way they can understand. So yeah, I
Are
don't
you like the
sugarcoat things.
Are you like the minister that I just saw where he was talking about how dirty the women's drawers was and how they don't
I don't
expect
go
to have a
that
man
deep.
and all that stuff?
I don't go that deep, but Weezy has attended some of my sessions and we talk
Uh,
about things that women go through that they're afraid to talk to people, fear of their business being spread. So
let's talk about
I,
that.
sure.
I'm very obsessed with the fact that in black culture, that we feel like, or we have to pay for people to listen to us, right?
Yeah.
What is it about us and how we were raised in our backgrounds to where we feel like our information or the truth that we tell to each other shouldn't be known by everybody else in the community?
And that's a problem because of the fact a lot of us we grew up in households where what happens in the house stays in the house. And people don't want to share their information, but there's release in when you share your information. There's empowerment when you share your information. I do like telling my story because a lot of women in the Black culture, you don't see a husband and wife, divorcing and getting back together and have a successful marriage. And you learn from your mistakes. So a lot of women, they're hesitant about sharing their stories. And I love to share my story because I got an awesome background. And I know that every time I speak, there are women that come to me afterwards and they're wanting to share their story with me. So I appreciate the fact that I have that platform to do so.
Phoenix, did you have anything?
No, because I know her. And I'm just so happy that she's here. So,
Yeah.
any other questions that you have before we go into this topic?
Okay. You also mentioned that you have a very familiar background amongst the Black community of molestation. It happens to, and this is not even
The topic.
directed. Right. What you about to get on?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
No. Ask the questions. That's why I'm here. Ask the question. I don't shy away from what happened to me. It's a story that needs to be told. So I don't shy away from that.
So I was about to get into the nitty gritty, but I'm gonna wait because I do have questions, but I want the Phoenix to bring it up. Okay, let's go ahead and get into it.
Let's get into it. Go ahead.
Let's do it.
Okay. He's being very
Do I need to call my husband downstairs?
An evangelist. Please call Ralph. Please.
He just
call Ralph.
No,
tell Ralph to come on and get on. No, but I want him to get on in this too because I want him to answer with the topic. So our topic, one of our topics, we're talking about quality time, or what does it mean for couples? What does it mean when you to spend time with each other? What does that mean to you? And it would be nice to hear from Ralph too. So
yeah, he just got home from work. I don't know if he's going to come downstairs.
Let that man breathe. Let him take his time. Okay.
Well, we can hear from you.
Yeah. Well, what it means to me to spend quality time with my husband. Okay, I have to go back. The first 10 years of our marriage, I didn't want to spend quality time with him because I didn't like the person he was. But now we make time for each other. We have date nights. We go out of the country at least twice a year. We have family gatherings, but we have that him and her time. He and what is it? Both of our times together. We have times where we take rides and just be alone. Because if you don't have that, you're hearing from everybody else. You want to hear from your mate. What makes you tick? What would you like to see in me that I'm not doing now? And we incorporate those things into our marriage.
The scary part about the statement, right, is that we men are starting to understand, and we're starting to hear this a lot. We've heard it from Jada Pinkett over and over the fuck again. Like I'm sorry, excuse me for my language. No. I'm sorry, Pastor.
I want you to don't do that.
This is where it gets irritating. This is where it gets irritating towards how men think and how simplistic our minds are. We're very simple human beings. But if we outright said that we didn't like the woman in our life, right? Women would not take that kindly. So how are women coming to the point where they can say that freely and don't think that it doesn't hurt or hurt feelings or stir up controversy amongst the relationships?
Okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about my story. My husband had a drug habit. He was spending $500 a day. And when it came to the fact that the drug dealer's child was looking better than my children, I had to stand up. I left my husband in our home, packed everything, left him a chair, And 2 years later, he came to me. He said, "Why did you leave that chair?" Because I wanted you to think about everything that you've lost. Because men don't accept they think they can do anything and get away with it because we as women tolerate it. But when you tell a man put him in his place and where he's falling short, and you're having to pick up the load, especially when you have children, that that empowers a woman. You either want better for you and your kids, or you're going to accept what's going on around you and just stay in that situation. I tell you, it was every other month we were getting evicted from somewhere. He was wrecking cars. People were coming to me saying that we owed money, and I'd never borrowed any money from anybody. And you get tired of being sick and tired. But some women, they let these men stay home, play video games. They're going out to work, and then on payday, it looks like a limousine service outside the job. They tolerate that. So I just think women have to stand up. And I don't think it's anything wrong with the woman telling the man where he's falling short, or him telling her where she falls short. If you really love that person, you'll make a change.
I am definitely all for the healing of women.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to be real with you.
Go ahead.
There's not enough healing of men.
That's true, because men hide their feelings.
We have no choice. Just the same with the molestation subject. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of men that go through that.
Yeah.
That eventually turn to drugs and that take it out on relationships and things like that. And on women, and become abusive because they don't know how to express themselves.
Right.
So I just want to make it even keel. I don't want to, I definitely appreciate the fact that, women do need a place to go. Right. And a place to, to voice their opinions. But men tend to not have the same voices. I mean, the same shoulders that women have already had from birth, from father, from the father caring about the girls more so than the boys. We're tossed out there, so I just want to make sure that we're even on that playing field and understand that, that it's all the same, eventually,
Right.
I'm sorry.
But what I learned in raising two boys, I told my sons, don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to voice your opinion, because when little boys, they keep this stuff close to their heart, and then when they grow up, they lash out. And I told them, it's not you being a punk or anything like, excuse me, am I supposed to say that? Not that you being weak or anything.
Say whatever you want to say.
Not that you being weak or anything like that, but let me and dad know what's going on. Don't hold it in. Because I've seen family members, even my son sometimes, blow up for no reason because they don't have the avenue to let things out or to express their feelings. They think going to a psychiatrist, you think you're crazy. And that's not always the case. I have two girlfriends I grew up with since elementary school. I go to them. I had my women's session. We voiced our opinions. We shared things that women are afraid to share. And my husband even have men's sessions where he tell our story, because men need to know you're not weak because you cry. You're not weak because something's happened to you. Tell somebody that you can trust.
Now, that word right there is where the Black community fails at.
Trust. You're right.
Do we worry so much about trust instead of getting the information off of our chest? Because let's think about this. I mean, if you pay for it from a counselor, you don't have to trust that person. You just have a non-disclosure agreement that you sign to where they're not supposed to talk.
It's not true. You do have to trust that person, because a lot of people sit in sessions and won't say anything because they don't feel comfortable
and waste their money.
You do have to build a relationship and have to get comfortable with the client, and the client has to get comfortable with the therapist in order to start the talk. So that's not true. You'll talk faster with them because they don't know your people and they won't go blah blah blah. Right. But you still have to rebuild that rapport with them in order for them to open up and talk to you.
Do you realize how many drug addicts attend these AA meetings and sit there for weeks before they share? They have to be comfortable in their environment. My husband leads these meetings, and he said, I have guys to come in that won't share until those walls fall down and they feel comfortable. And that's just like with men and women in relationships. Until your wall fall down, you're not going to feel comfortable.
I feel like when it comes to that trust aspect,
Hmm.
are we so afraid of being exposed? Like when we tell these truths to somebody
Hmm.
that we care about, why do we care once the information is out and our shoulders and our chest are released and our heart is not as heavy as it is? Why do we worry about it coming back to us, in a negative light?
Especially when you're sharing it with someone that you think you trust and it gets out there. I think that hurts you more than anything. And a lot of people, and that we have to be frank with them. When you tell somebody something and you say, girl or guy, please keep it to yourself, and you hear it down the road, that changes your dynamic of the relationship. So people are afraid to share. They and it hurts more when it comes back to you, especially when you were in a I'll say confidential environment or trusting environment.
Does it affect us more? How can I want to word this the right way? If we, I'm so like, this is the reason why a lot of our families are torn apart, is
Hmm.
because we try to keep secrets, right?
Yep. Yep.
But a lot of these secrets that we've kept in for so many years is the reason why we're beefing,
Hmm.
from molestation all the way to just common, just I'm in pain or I need this help or whatever.
Yeah.
When do we become free of that burden? And when we put that information out there, it might save somebody else that might have heard the gossip. Like,
Yeah.
are we afraid of everybody knowing that we're weak? I mean, or we had a weak moment?
I For me, not until I was, I think, about 15 that I shared with my parents what happened. And it was a time when my mom said, something's going on with you. I wasn't acting myself. And that was a secret that I held. And I was taking it out on family members of what happened. I wouldn't stay at anybody's house. I wouldn't go anywhere with anybody. And when it got out there, I just thought people were going to look at me different, like, oh, she was fast, or she was this or that. She was rebellious. But my mom had me in an environment where it was nothing but love, nothing but love. And she said, and I'm going to be frank, I don't give a damn how the family thinks. You are my child, and I'm going to protect you. And a lot of us, we care about what the family thinks, what this person thinking of. I don't care that everybody knows what happened to me or the relationship that I had with my husband in the beginning. It doesn't bother me, because when I share my testimony, you'd be surprised how many women come up and they crying and stuff like that, and they say, you helped me. And supposed I would have kept that in. This woman could have kept, went home and got her tail beat. You know what I mean? And by me sharing my story and abuse and all of that, I was able to help somebody. That made me feel good, and it still makes me feel good.
Let's talk about that, because that's a truth that you live, right?
Hmm.
This is actually your husband that you fought through everything with, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And you still remain throughout the fire. You have now extinguished that fire. Now y'all have become, you
Oh my
know,
gosh, I
y'all have
got
become
that.
But see, they got divorced
We
right,
got
and
right,
then
right.
divorced.
he came back. Yeah, so it
Yeah,
was it
we
was a
got
whole.
divorced for 2 years, and I had to. Okay, I got married to my husband. He had been married before for 10 years. We got married. I didn't have any kids or anything. I moved out my parents' house into his house. I had never been on my own, but basically I wasn't on my own. I was in his house. I always felt like it was his house and not our house. So just having that time with him and knowing that I needed to grow for myself, and I was tolerating a lot of stuff from him. A lot. Not coming home, the drug abuse, showing his tail, wrecking cars and all of that stuff. And when I finally got the courage to stand up, my God, it turned the dynamics of our relationship. We were divorced for 2 years, and I was about to marry somebody else. And he came to our church.
You never
And he
tell me
told,
that, Vaughn.
oh no, you weren't there, but he came to our church and he said, God told me if I came back, if I got myself together, and he would give me my family back. A situation happened where I could call on nobody but him. And we had dated, started dating. I left the other guy alone because he was weak. He was weak. But my husband showed me strength. And we remarried 2 years later on the same date at the same time. And both of my sons walked me down the courthouse hall. And when I say I don't have to worry about bills being paid. I got food. We got a house. We had several houses. We got cars. I don't have to worry about that money going to a drug dealer. And I'm a firm believer if you stand up for yourself, things will turn around. Just don't settle for anything just to say you have a man. That's
And
just me.
and for the sisters that you are out there counseling that feel like they are
Hmm.
the ones, right? They're the prize,
Hmm.
right? As they like to say nowadays, right?
Yeah.
How do you keep those sisters level headed when it comes to going through those things? How do you make them recognize that they might be the problem?
Mm. When you settle for anything, when you're taking care of a man instead of letting him be a man, you have to stand up. If you, what my grandmother used to say, if you, what is it? If you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. And a lot of women fall short right there. And I try to tell them, just like you taking care of him, somebody else to do it. Look out for yourself first.
Now remember this.
Hmm.
In today's climate, women are making way more money than men,
Hmm.
at least amongst black males, right?
Yeah.
So what happens if a sister comes to you and her story is if she tells the truth?
Hmm.
Because you got to bring it out of women,
That's right.
women
Pull it
and
out.
men, right? You got to pull it out
Exactly.
of them, right?
Yep.
What if that man is not the abuser and she may be? What do you say to these sisters out here that might feel, might be acting as the opposite sex at that moment?
I'm gonna have to say this. Um, my husband used to make more money than me, and I felt like he controlled everything. And then the tables turn. And I think when two individuals are working together, there shouldn't be, a dominant person. A man's supposed to lead the house, but he's not supposed to put you in a situation where you have to give up all your money and all of that stuff. And I always say you have to stand up for yourself. And sometimes women can be assholes. Because I got this and I got that. You're gonna do what I say. You don't realize when you going to work, that man probably sleeping with somebody else in your house. It's nothing about you so special. Nothing.
Phoenix?
What you want me to say? No,
I
but for
know.
real, and she's right. It is that attitude, that arrogance, that hyper independent attitude that we tend to have does cause destruction for us. We create our own problems,
Right. We do.
and we do treat when you have that personality, when you have that attitude, you do treat men like trash
Yeah.
and make it seem like it's him when it's really you. So we have to
Yeah.
hold ourselves accountable for our behavior and the
Yeah.
way we treat people and the way we treat men and
Yeah.
the way that we carry ourselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even now, my husband and I probably make the same amount of money. I'm not sure. I don't even check that. But my husband, I still treat him as the king of his house. We've been together 35. He's never made a plate in my home. I don't see anything
Oh,
wrong.
now you're talking.
I've never. That's just me. That's just me. I don't want him to burn down my kitchen for one. But I
Don't
always
be Ralph like that. Don't be
no.
doing.
Well, Phoenix. Ralph does not make plates in his house. Ralph gets a full course breakfast every Saturday. I iron his clothes. I wash his clothes. I don't need him to do. I want to be his wife, and I want him to appreciate the things I do. He doesn't take it for granted, but he appreciates me. Because you'd be surprised how many guests coming out home and say their husband, you better get up and fix your plate. And they're looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm running, I'm fixing my man's plate. Because if you don't do it, somebody else gonna do it. And I'm not too big or too small to say that. I mean, yeah, somebody else gonna do it.
Crazy enough, about 2 weeks ago, that was actually a topic for debate, and they were talking about the differences between the cultures of Black culture and Hispanic culture, or foreign culture,
right?
Where a majority of the women serve their men, for the most part. I think that is the smallest thing out of anything. Like, I don't know if that really matters until you go to like the family reunions and you don't know nobody. Like, that's a controversy. Like, once you go in there,
no, but that's a older woman thing too, and country thing. You do not let your man get up and fix his plate, especially if he's your husband. Oh no, you're not going to let him fix his plate.
Ralph is from Georgia, and I've always fixed his plates. Like I said, I don't want him to burn my kitchen down because he can't boil eggs. But if he can, I don't know anything about it. And he appreciates my food. So I don't want another woman coming in here fixing his plate. You don't know what roots he's putting on it.
Crazy enough, I grew up in a household where my father did all the cooking. My mother refused to cook.
Now my dad.
So I am a chef. Yeah. I'm a dog when it comes to that food. So I don't know if that really matters to me. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of households like that where the men did a lot of the cooking, because especially in modern day times where women are way more progressive and they're more busier than ever. You know what I mean? Like chasing goals.
What man want McDonald's every day? You gotta come on now. I mean, Ralph would look at me like I'm crazy.
Too much bathroom time. Don't want to be in the bathroom all the time.
You gotta make some sacrifices. It's been I saw the grass when it was brown, and now I'm seeing it when it's green.
So let me ask you this. Key word or key phrases you just said, sacrifices. Key word, sacrifices. Let's go into that in detail. Like, when you counsel women about sacrificing, what are some of the keys to that, and to not let them think that they're slaves or they're being dominated over again?
First of all, they look at me like I'm crazy. What you mean? I ain't doing that. And I always say, if you don't do it, you're saying you love this man. It's nothing wrong with you helping him, but you gotta make sacrifice. You can't always be the dominant one. Let a man be a man. I love it when my husband opened the door for me. I love him when he just kissed me and said, I love you, for no reason. It's not because I'm doing all of this and that. It's because he loves me. And women, for some reason, they think when they do things in a relationship for a man, they think a man is controlling them, or that's not me, especially the younger generation. Girl, I ain't got time for that. No, but I don't know what kind of generation we living in, because women don't want to cook. They Grubhub and DoorDash themselves to death. I want lasagna homemade. I want chicken homemade. And sometimes you got to make those sacrifices to keep your mate happy, whether vice versa, man or woman. I mean, either way, you got to make sacrifice. You can't always think that what you say goes. You got to think of the other person's feelings.
And that right there is key. And I think that we're losing our empathy for one another.
Right.
Slowly but surely in this day and age, like, we have a issue with caring.
Yep, that's true.
And it's so crazy to me, when people are seeking healing, what is the most important thing that you found amongst counseling that they're searching for? What are they looking for?
Love.
Can we break
Love.
that down? What is love? What is the definition? When you explain to them what love may be or what you've been through to find love or to rekindle love, what is it that you say
Love
that brings
is
them back?
selfless. A act. You do something for somebody because you care about them. Love is when that man or woman passed you and you just had an argument, but you can still smile at each other and give them a hug. Love is showing up for that person. That's what love is. And a lot of our younger generations have the wrong concept of love. They think because they with these provocative outfits or a man throwing a couple of dollars at you, oh, he loved me. But how many other women he throwing dollars at? That's not love. Love is when a man takes you home to meet his family and want to give you his last name. Love is beyond what you can even imagine. I know what love is, and I know what it is not to be loved. And right now, I'm loved.
I think
Say it
that
again. She said she love y'all.
yes
I
indeed.
am.
Yes indeed. Yes
I'm just
indeed.
back here instigating because I say a lot of this stuff, but it's good to hear it from someone who's seasoned in this realm of relationship and marriage. And
Yeah.
so,
My husband was shot 9 times. He had 24 strokes in 24 hours. He had a major stroke. And he's always been there for me in the second marriage. He's been there for me. And people were like, you need to put him in a nursing home or somewhere like that. No. When I say he went through rehab, he didn't sit on the couch and say, I'm not going back to work. They didn't want him to come back. He said, I got to take care of my wife. He got off of his rusty dusty and went back to work. That's love. I was there for him. He's here for me. But a lot of people, when those things happen in a relationship, they seek love somewhere else. And that's just a quick fix because the person that you left during that time is the one that truly loved you.
Now, how long have you been social work, correct?
Yeah.
So how long have you been in this field of this scope of practice? Excuse me.
2014 to now. Yeah.
What is the enjoyment that you get from it?
Watching people become free of the things that had them bound. Watching women being able to stand on their 2 feet. Watching couples get back together. Watching women and men find true love. I get a lot of enjoyment off the topics that I preach from and watching women in the audience cry or whatever and feel like the shackles have fallen off of them. I get enjoyment. I'm not, like I said, I used to be afraid to tell my story. Now I'll tell it to anybody.
I think it gets to that point where you can't be afraid to tell anything at this point. Like it's a certain point in life where it's just like, fool, everybody goes through this.
Exactly.
You've heard this story a million times.
You're not the first and you're not going to be last.
That's what I try to tell my knucklehead sons.
Yeah,
that's what I try to say.
you're
But
not
they
the
all,
so
first.
they can't hear nothing right now.
Or you don't know what I'm going through. Yes, I do. I mean, you gotta trust me that I know I'm at the age where I've been around the block. I've seen some things. Let me share with you. Let me help you. So yeah.
So do you feel any type of burden when you empower women that are from a younger generation? Because nowadays women from the younger generations are trying to be overly dominant. And they're starting to fall into men's places where they are shooting, they catching cases, like they are beating on people, like they don't care, you know.
Right.
Have you ever ran into the youth and have you ever been able to talk them off the ledge and guide them to a place of
I found that this generation would trick you when I say that, I'm not going to share any names, but I was ministering to this young lady, and she said, "Well, she was a homosexual, but she said, well, I want to change my life." And I'm like, okay, okay, I'm here for you. So I'm taking this girl to dinner. She said, "Oh, Mr. Bill, I need this or need that." Giving you a couple of dollars. And then all of a sudden, she still with the woman. I'm like, okay, I thought you were trying to change. You have to take yourself out of that situation sometimes if you're trying to change. And I think they it's a game to these younger generation. It's a game. They try to outslick you. And if you already played the game, you know some of the tricks that's on that board, or you know how to win at the end. But you got a lot of young women that I have a lot of young women that I come in contact with that just want to play the game. They want to play the game. And life is not a game because somebody gonna get hurt.
That
I
is
tell my
facts.
daughter, I tell my daughters, because they 16 and 14. I tell them, listen, I shouldn't be more enthused or more um into your life, your schooling or whatever, more than you. Yeah, I'm
Right,
your mom. I'm going to be a cheerleader. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to push you. But this is, at the end of the day, this is your life. This
right,
is what you have to do for your life, because
right,
I'm not going to be with you when you go, in your own apartment or in school or whatever. You have to do this for yourself.
right.
I said, eventually, I'm not going to be here on this earth. I have to die too.
Yeah,
So I'm preparing you now for a life, after childhood and after I'm gone.
right.
And you don't have to listen to me now, but everything I tell you every day, because I talk to my children every day, everything I tell you is going to come back, but you need to listen now. If you got to hit that wall, I'm going to let you hit it. I'm not going to keep being the pillow. I'm not going to keep blocking you because you're hard headed.
It is.
And if you
It
don't want to listen when I tell you, you're going to learn the hard way. I'm going to be here to support you and encourage you and tell you got it. I'm going to hug you. I'm going to wipe your tears, but you still got to make that journey. It's not my journey, it's yours.
right. And
And I talk to them every day, and yeah,
some of them so hard headed that
they are.
when all hell, you didn't told them, gave them the steps, but when all hell breaks loose, they run home to mommy and
And
daddy.
it's our fault.
And it's
And it's
our
our
fault.
fault.
And
Right.
I try to help you. I didn't went that course. I'm trying to tell you how to go over that hurdle, but you think I'm nagging you or all up in your business. But a lot, like myself, I had to get the hell knocked out of me before I came to the realization that my mother was my friend and not my enemy, because I was letting those outside entities into my head. I was giving them space in my head and not understanding why my mom was all in my business.
So, did you grow up in a two-parent household?
Not until I was 16, that's when my mom married my stepdad. In the beginning, it was just me, my mother, and my brother, the three musketeers. And he had to build a strong relationship to come into our circle.
Did he fight? Because it's a fight for stepkids. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
hold you.
he loved us, but I had to put him to the test. I
Let's
would
talk about
steal,
that. What's the
I would
test? What's the
steal his,
test?
I would steal his car while he was asleep. I would
What?
take his teeth, his dentures, and hide them before he had a
Come
fight.
on.
This
Not
sound like something
80C.
she would do. No, that
I
sound like
did.
something she
No,
would do.
You
my
are a detriment to society. What are we talking about here? Let's go.
my stepdad, he before he gets up and preach now, or he introduced me to something, he said, "I can't believe she a preacher." I did all types of stuff. I just didn't want him with my mom. It was just me, my mom, and my brother for a long time. And this man come in talking about, "Hey, y'all want some pizza?" And I'm like, "No, I don't even like you." I was steal his car, try to park it in the same spot when I before he got up. Yeah, I did a lot to him.
I just wanted to know because when it comes to like women's empowerment, sometimes women go through a lot of things when it comes to fathers, stepfathers, women dating. You know what I'm saying? Your mother trying to recover from possibly a bad marriage, and or the loss of a life,
Mm-hmm.
within marriage or whatever, or a relationship.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know because it tends to be that never ending cycle.
Yeah.
That never ending cycle amongst women that I hear that talk about a lot of women empowerment. It catches me off guard at times because I wanted to be even because I love my mother. So when I'm
Yeah.
listening to my elders, whether it be woman, man, or pit bull, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I just want to know for a fact, like, what is your background truly, and how did it affect you over the long run? Because a lot of people out here go through these same walks of life, and we want to
Uh,
know the God honest.
yeah. What I think what happened with us, I had got molested early on, and when my stepfather came into the relationship and tried to knock those barriers, those walls down with me, I rebelled against it because I didn't want a man in our house. And he fought for my brother and I's love. This man loved me more than my dad because I didn't meet my dad until 2 weeks before I was getting ready to get married. And the the mindset was my stepdad was supposed to walk me down the aisle. And my dad came and he said, "Can I walk you down the aisle?" So what happened was on the day of my wedding, my dad walked me to my stepdad to marry me. And I had love for both of these men because when I need them, they show up and they show out. My stepfather allowed me to love my husband because without his love for me, I don't think I would have ever trusted a man. And I had certain standards going into my marriage because I saw how he treated my mother. My mother never paid a bill. Her money, she do what she wants with it. And he took care of us. He didn't run because I did all those terrible things to him. He stayed there. He told me he loved me. Valentine's Day, he would come in with candies and flowers for my mom, but also came in with a package for me as well. So he showed, I saw true love that he was giving my mom, that he gave to me as well. And it knocked down those barriers.
And that is definitely key.
Yep.
I gotta ask this question: are you an
Sure.
author?
No, I want to tell my story though. I love it. I mean, I started writing before and I just put the pen down.
Not enough time to do it. I figured that
Not
being an
enough
author,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
one would figure that being an author would be like time consuming or whatever.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought about it?
Oh, of course. I was just sharing it with Weezy not too long ago. I mean, yeah, I've always thought about it. Just doing things to encourage women. I have my husband and my story has been documented in the book called The Dream Girls Catalog. We shared our story. It was 97 women that shared their stories through ups and downs with their mates or just growing up in rural areas and in the city and stuff like that. And we shared our story. I'm Dream Girl number 52, something like that in that book.
Now
Yeah.
listen, you got to go ahead and you got to go with that one. Hey, listen, where can people find that book at?
It was on Amazon. I haven't out. I had a copy years ago. I mean, I don't even know if it's still on Amazon, but yeah, it was on Amazon. One of my
Probably
girlfriends
can
wrote the
find it
book.
anywhere. Also
Yeah.
on
It's it's called
thriftbooks.com.
the
It's
Dream
just
Girls Catalog. It's a lot of empowerment stories in that book. How women were kidnapped, they were trafficked, and they were just drug dealers. It's crazy. It gives you accounts of women that went through hell and high water, but overcame.
I
And
don't think that women's stories are told enough when it comes to that
yeah,
side of the coin.
yeah. Oh, I like
Shameless
that.
plug.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that. I got you.
But I really don't think that, especially me being a man,
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard those sides of those, those stories. Like
Yeah.
it's different, You don't really look at women as if they have been through gangster type of environments or had to like rise up and like do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
always, us as men always feel like we bear the burden of violence for the most part.
I grew up in Berry Farms.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Come on now. And I didn't have any older siblings. I had to fight for what's mine. And I've been fighting ever since. But I fight with my words now. I fight with my faith and I fight on platforms. So
Let's talk about that. What got you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead, Fanny.
No, all I was gonna say was most of the time why you don't hear it is because I'm about to say we. I'm about to tell myself. Women that are on that side are quiet about it. We move very Women move very quiet about
Hmm.
certain things that they that they
Yeah.
do. So you're not going to necessarily hear that unless they get caught up.
Yeah.
So that's why. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Where was I going with this one? Um. Oh, speaking of faith,
Hmm.
what got you into the ministry?
My mom married a man that was in church, that made us go to church, that had like now, and I have a scripture in my house: when you come out, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You did not stay in the Odom's house without going to church. My mom would put your clothes, put a newspaper on your bed. If you didn't have a job, you're going to get out and find a job. You're going to go to church as long as you live here. And that's the same mindset I have with my boys. As long as you're in my house, you got to go to church.
In today's climate, church is very rare. It's a rarity for you to see young people in it.
Hmm.
What is going on with that? With why is it such a turn off for younger people to go to church?
I met Weezy in church. I keep saying Weezy. Is that okay?
Yeah, they
We
know me
know
as
Wiz.
Weezy. They
We
Okay.
know
know
me. I
Okay.
Wiz.
mean,
I met
everybody knows.
her in church. We had a huge choir. As people grow older, they form their own opinions of church. But the church as a whole need to stop condemning our young people, turning them off. Society has accepted the LBGT or whatever that is community, and the church has to, in order for us to be able to witness to people or whatever. We can't all be up in our high pedestals looking down. We have to set an environment for, like back in the day, the choir wore robes. They barely get somebody to put on a skirt now. I mean, you have to change with the times. I'm not saying let people get on the pulpit and kiss and make out and all of that, but you have to change with the times. I'm scheduled to take over the pastoralship of our church. I got to make some changes. History says that women should not be pastors of churches. But me coming into the ministry, I got to bring some people back. I got to have my own administration so we can make a difference.
And what would that difference be?
We can't judge our young people. We got to love them, accept them, grow with them. We wanted, you can't talk about a 16-year-old girl coming into church pregnant. You don't know what she been through. It could have been rape that she became pregnant. It could have been that mother or father not caring for her that she became pregnant. You don't know her story. And we judge that type of incident or that child, but you can't do that you can't do that. You got to accept people for who they are. And that's one of the changes I'm going to make. You can't look down on these kids. The alcoholic coming in the church. You don't even know if that man is a millionaire. He just may have been blitzed that day.
The mimosa something else.
You gotta work with that individual. You can't just say, "Oh, he stink. He can't be coming in here." No, let that brother on in. Let the children wear their jeans. I preach in jeans. I used to say, "Oh, I wouldn't wear no jeans on the pulpit." Or I wouldn't wear. No, I really wear a skirt to church now. No, I gotta be. I gotta. Sometimes you gotta come down to people levels in order to help them. And that's one of the changes I'm going to make.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we got to see people as, I just had this conversation yesterday in a Child and Family Service meeting. And we were talking to somebody from the Fairfax division, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to be able to connect with the people. And they're talking about the others. And if I said, first of all, remove that, because there's no other, it's just us.
Right.
You can't separate the people because you're not here. We're all on the same level. The difference is you have a job.
Yeah.
Everybody is on the same level, and that's how you have to come to people and kids. And again, in order for the children to get themselves together, the adults have to first.
You can't.
And all that trickle down.
There you go. You can't expect to help somebody. You're always putting them down. You got parents cussing their children out at home, raising hell at home, bring their children to church and want them to be perfect little PK kids, and you just cuss that child out at home. Of course, the child will come in with an attitude. You got to change your mindset, your environment to love that child. I'm not saying all kids are bad. I'm not saying all kids are good. You got to come down to that child's level and accept them. So many church members, they put people down and wonder what happened to the body of Christ. You ran them out with your notions and your mindsets and your thinking of how they should act. No, you can't do that. You'd be surprised how many churches, oh, I lost so many members. Those members wouldn't have left or had a thought about leaving if you didn't always have something sticking out the mouth to say.
That is one of the things that I think that is a turn off for most people when it comes to religion. I must say, I'm not going to put it in church, just religion, period, is that it's so old in its way of thinking and the text that you keep reading over and over again. That when do you graduate? Like, a lot of the times I listen to, I listen to preachers and stuff and ministers, and I'm just like, when do you graduate from that ideal? And when do you understand that you are now a 45-year-old man, and now this is modern day times? Like, how do we interpret this information?
Change. One thing is constant in life: death and change. You're gonna go through it. You gotta change. You gotta pivot to today's environment. I'm not saying let people come in with the guns, but now kids don't want to say, yes, Jesus loved me. They want, yes, Jesus loved me. They want to do a rap. They don't want to hear those little old hymns. Some of the biggest churches now, they had to pivot to what's going on today. Social media, you got to have that Facebook Live and stuff. You got to make it easy for people to feel comfortable. I'm not saying take down all the doctrines of the church, but you have to adapt to what's going on now.
That is nothing but the truth, the whole truth. And I really thank you for coming through, Lady D.
Thank you, guys. I had fun. I thought I was going to get on because certain people, the link and stuff, but
that was my fault. Excuse me.
I can't wait to tell Ralph
my French. But I really thank you for coming through. So,
thank you,
with that being, y'all, you are so welcome. Now, look, with that being said, you got to let everybody know where your ministry is. How can people reach out to you?
First Angelic Missionary Baptist Church in Camp Springs, Maryland, and I'm on Facebook, Evangelist DeVille and I was going to say Black Phoenix. I'm trying. Weezy has my information, and I would love for you guys to come and visit us because the sister about to take over the church, and we're going to change some things in Camp Springs, Maryland, because I know the Blue Phoenix will be there.
Listen,
And
I
her
thank you.
We're not doing this on live
and her
TV, man.
tribe.
We not.
And her tribe. Yay!
I thank you so much.
Y'all
We are
better
gonna.
invite me back.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Anytime you.
You definitely can
Cause
come,
I'ma
Yeah.
talk
and
I'ma
hopefully
talk
Ralph will be
I'ma talk
available.
about y'all if y'all don't.
Listen, we can set up shop at the actual church or wherever you want, and you can sit up there and we can actually go into the men's counseling with your husband.
And we
I will
can
sit there
even
with him.
come to you and do it so y'all both will be comfortable in your home. We'll
Oh,
talk
for
Yeah,
about
sure. We'll talk
yeah,
about that. Ralph like
most
company.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could
he
definitely
like
do that.
company.
Or I would love to sit there with, like I said earlier, or a couple seconds ago, that I would love to sit there with the actual ministry. You know what I'm saying? Or his youth. He does youth ministry,
No,
or
my husband, his men's ministry is with what is that? The counselors, the men I don't know what this thing called. The drug counselors of DC.
okay.
He does the Saturday sessions. So he's gone up the ranks.
I would love to sit out there and really pick his brain, like like I did tonight, like Phoenix did months ago when she first met you. Like, we are very inquisitive people
No, it's
here.
No,
years.
we've
We've
known
known
him.
each other
We've
for
not.
years.
She didn't
Oh,
have
We've
really?
because
known me since I was a teenager.
you ain't had no
Oh,
kids.
Nope, I didn't have no kids. She met me a little bit 3 years before I had Eddie.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I shot her father in the back with a water gun. That's why I laughed
Oh
because we
dear.
both was acting crazy. That's
Oh
how he
man,
remembers me. We were at our thing and I shot him in the back with the water gun and ran and laughed him out.
I gave that man hell. Y'all just don't know. He preached with no teeth one Sunday. So thanks, Camille.
so everybody loves you, of course.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you so much for coming on. We're gonna close out.
Okay.
I'll
Peace.
talk to you soon. Hey, Phoenix. Well, thank you for such a beautiful guest.
Yes. She's
Been a dope
awesome.
night. I haven't shut up yet, and I've been trying to
Oh,
just
I
shut
was
up.
letting you talk because I already know her. So, like ask
Yeah,
all the questions you want.
yeah, most definitely, most definitely. I really appreciate her thoughts and her viewpoints on everything. Is there anything that you would like to close with before we close out?
I just want to thank everybody that chimed in. I appreciate you guys' comments. Lavon will be back. I know she will because she told me she wants to come and talk. So she will be back. If y'all want to get her information, you can reach out to me. Hit my DM with proper behavior, please. And no, but just thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mo, for being such a gentleman. Though you could have asked whatever question because she's unorthodox. So, you could have asked her whatever and she'd have been cool. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I'm so happy to be here. This 2 weeks is kind of long for me. I love being on this show. So
Well, I must say, listen, tonight, everything that she said in the beginning, I was just like, nah, this is not the time to clown, or you know what I mean? Like, maybe later when she gets to know me, but I wanted that. I
that's
wanted
why
that.
I was jumping in with random stuff because I know you wanted to, but you weren't sure. And so
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I know her. Let me just mess with her a little bit.
I wouldn't have did that to that young lady. I really appreciated her message.
She would have
Um,
she would have jumped on you. One thing about her,
uh-huh.
she would have gave you right back the nonsense you be doing when you be
Yeah,
acting up. She would do the
yeah.
same thing. You see what she used to do with her father. Now you think
Right.
she wouldn't have jumped on you? It's okay. Now you know. So,
But the whole tea, I gotta let y'all on something that people don't know about me, is that I really am a journalist. And so how me and you started off, a lot of people don't understand it as social political commentary. So I'm really into the deeper side of things. I clown because people need humor throughout the week,
mhm,
but
mhm.
for the most part, the message that she had and the things that she was talking about, it took it. I wanted the
Yeah,
ladies to hear it more so than
yeah.
me over talk and be a clown this time. So,
And even the gentlemen need to hear it. I like the fact. See, the thing is,
mhm,
Evangelist DeVille is very much on women empowerment, but she does not play games when it comes to men. She has two boys and a husband that she adores.
mhm,
And with her, I'm gonna talk to her because I really, really would have loved for Ralph to be on here because again, men don't have a lot of representation, and it's going to take y'all to the place where we are or where we constantly are. Men empowerment, men circle, whatever you want to call it. But y'all have to put that out there because y'all are too silent. You have to get out there. You have to. Men commit suicide more than women do.
Mhm.
You have to get out there and let men know that it is okay. And that you have somebody that will hear you and that understands. And I'm here for you. Like, y'all need to do that because women do it all the time and we still crazy. But they have somebody to talk to.
And you know what? And you know what? I really want to get into that because the difference between men and women is that when men receive criticism and information about ourselves, when we spew out our feelings, we're way more receptive to the negativity, or we have to be introspective about what we're doing wrong. A lot of women, when they say empowerment, which is a powerful word to say, and I was trying to bring it out of her, and I will get her later, but she kept wanting to mention women, and every time I brought up men, it would kind of freak her out a little bit, because she went through what she went through.
Identify. She can only identify with her. Again, that's why I wish Ralph was there. Well, he just got to work, so I understand. But she can only identify with women because she understands women. She can tiptoe a little bit on the side with men. Speak for myself about what, Camille? But tiptoe on the side of men. But some women can't go there, And it sounded like she was getting a little choked up talking about some history.
Right.
And you try, so I get it. But the thing is, it's easy for me because I grew up around men, grew up around guys. I was always around dudes. So I heard the conversations. I learned to listen. If I didn't, they would beat my ass. My cousins, not just my cousins and my uncles.
Right.
But I learned a lot of women don't have that experience. So they only know women. They only know what they've been through and how to identify with that. I'm not a man, but I do understand listening, and I do understand conversation, and I do understand that y'all are just as sensitive as we are. Y'all have to play hard though. You gotta be hard. But y'all have the same emotions. We all human. We just speak ours more than y'all do. Y'all don't have a place to voice it, but we make a place to voice it. And that's what y'all have to do. Y'all have to make your space. Oh, I was playing for me. There are a lot of women that are crazy, girl.
That is a very powerful statement. And of course, naturally, where can they find you at, Phoenix?
You can find me standing on the corner singing opera. Anyway, you can find me at the Blue Phoenix Hills everywhere. I'm working on getting what's the new thing on IG? The new app that they switching the little new thing.
About that the thread.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
that.
I don't know. I haven't tried it, but it keeps popping up. I say I might look into it. I don't know. But either way, the Blue Phoenix Hills everywhere, even on TikTok. Also, I have Lovely Beautiful Mind 30, but I use the Blue Phoenix because that's my moniker. So you can find me everywhere. Also, tomorrow at 8 o'clock with Quick Star, Taylor May Rock, and G.I. Mode at 8 o'clock on the No Filter Show.
Well, she said a handful and enough for me. Naturally, I am your boy G.I. Mo, aka non-GMO, and sometimes you get to see how genetically unmodified I am. Okay. Naturally, I've had a great time. These interviews are so special to me at times. These interviews are so special to me. And I get in my bag when it comes to like beautiful healing souls like this. And I am very appreciative of Lady D coming through. I look forward to more conversations with her and her husband. And hopefully we can pop up at her ministry and we can actually show the beautiful side of that coin. You dig? Hey, yeah, hold on. I need to start getting paid for this, man. You dig?
Well, it's us, so we gotta pay you. we name dropping ours.
Exactly. But naturally, thank you all.
28th.
We will talk about that tomorrow. Tonight is too dope of a show. I ain't worried about listen. We are not going to go from that to debauchery.
Okay, you're right.
Okay?
You're right.
Thank you. And of course, this has been
Both Sides of the Coin, y'all.
Deuces.